If you can draw a stick figure, you can draw this dragon. In this tutorial, I'm gonna take you step by step through the entire process. From drawing the stick figure, shaping the dragon's body, defining the head and building the wings, all the way to adding shading, texture and the final touches that bring it to life. By the end of this video, you have learned how to use simple shapes and references to build complex creatures, how to add personality with details like horns and spikes, and how to create depth using shading techniques like hatching and cross-hatching. I'm drawing today with a ballpoint pen, which means no erasing, but don't worry, you should use whatever tools you're comfortable with, whether that's pencil, digital or anything else. The important part is that you have fun and practice. So let's get started. We start by drawing a line that represents the head. We also make a line for the neck with a large circle that will be the chest of our dragon. We continue with another large circle and then it's time to draw the limbs, but we're gonna draw them the same way as we would draw a stick figure. We're just using lines and circles where the joints are located. But how do you know where the joints are supposed to go? This is where we use references. In this phase of our drawing, we need to look at skeletons from animals and dinosaurs. That way we can easily see where each bone connects with another. And we just draw that. We don't need to draw that in detail, we draw the bone as a stick and where it connects to another bone we draw a circle. And all of a sudden drawing limbs became way easier. Now that we've got our basic lines and circles in place, we can start shaping our dragon by drawing the outline. Think of it like adding clay to a wire skeleton. We're going to draw around the structure that we already built. So if we drew a line for the arm, now we draw around that line to give it thickness. If there's a circle, that will become part of the elbow or wrist. You don't need to make it perfect. This is just a first pass to give your dragon some actual volume. And here's a tip, don't just trace tightly around the lines. Muscles bulge and skin stretches. Let the shape flow a bit more naturally. You're sculpting the body now and we'll fine tune it later. Now I'm gonna start adding some rough details to the head. Just simple shapes for the eye and the nostril. Nothing too fancy yet, just enough to place the features. I'm also adding a couple of horns to give the head some character. This helps define the style of a dragon. These little touches already give our drawing some personality, and we can carry that same vibe through the rest of the design. Next we're going to draw the rough shape of the wing, focusing on the membrane stretched between the fingers. Because the wing is reaching out towards us, we won't see all the fingers clearly, but we can hint at them behind the parts that we do see. The wing membrane flows back and attaches to the dragon's body, usually along the back or side. And instead of a thumb, we're adding a talon, a strong claw with a large nail, just to give it that extra creature-like feel. And don't forget to draw the other wing. A large part of it is blocked from our view, but we still need to draw it behind the other. Now that the wings are in place, we can move on to the tail. This dragon species has a flexible tail, so I'm showing that by letting it loop around in a smooth curve. It gives the drawing more flow and movement. I also add another part of the wing sticking out behind the one we already drew. It's further away, so I roughly shade it in just to separate it visually. That helps make the drawing easier to read while I keep working on it. And then I move on to the foot. And just like before, I still think of it as adding clay to a wire skeleton. Drawing feet can definitely be tricky, so if that's something you struggle with, I've got a few separate tutorials on dragon feet and toes you might want to check out after this one. Now it's time to add shading and details. I start by drawing larger plates along the chest and belly. Those protect the more vulnerable parts of the dragon's body. The rest will be covered in smaller, rougher scales. And I'm adding a row of spikes along the spine for some extra decoration and attitude. Don't worry about making every scale perfect. In fact, it will look more natural if the shapes are a bit rough. For shading, I use hatching and cross-hatching. That means drawing lines that follow the form of the body. Hatching is a series of parallel lines, and cross-hatching is when you layer another set of lines across them. It's a great way of shading to create some depth to your drawing, especially when used over the texture of our scales. Take your time in this phase. This is where the drawing really starts to feel alive, and this part will take the longest, but it will also transform your drawing the most. If you enjoyed this video so far and want to learn more about creature design, I have a Patreon with fully narrated real-time tutorials that might be something for you, so hopefully I see you there. Of course, we also shade the wings, but we do that very lightly to keep that thin membrane effect. When shading the wing that's furthest away from us, I just go right over the spikes on the neck. And once that's done, I bring back the spikes by darkening their outlines, and that way they come out again. As you can see, I'm using long controlled lines while shading, and when needed I just rotate the paper so I can keep working in the right direction. The underside of the wings falls into the shadows, so we shade that a lot darker. And while we won't see the details of the fingers from this angle because the membrane covers them, we can still suggest their shape by adding soft shadows. That gives the wing structure without over-explaining them. Our dragon is basically finished, but right now it's kind of floating in empty space. To fix that, I add a simple shadow underneath. That little touch makes the whole drawing feel a little bit more real and complete. And that's it, our dragon drawing is done. If this tutorial helped you, please don't forget to like and subscribe, it really supports the channel, and also check out this video next, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!